What's going on, football world? It's Carter with X's and O's, and on this video I am going to be discussing a numbering system that you can use in your system to identify and communicate linebacker techniques. I'm going to first start out by drawing a generic offensive line: guard, tackle, tight end, guard, tackle. I don't like that tackle. Tackle, and tight end. I am going to briefly review gaps. Center to guard is the A gap, guard to tackle is the B gap, tackle to tight end is the C gap, and then the D gap goes all the way to the next man on the line of scrimmage, or if nobody is in between the tight end and the sideline, it would extend all the way to the sideline. It is exactly the same on the other side. A, B, C, and D, and that extends all the way out to the next man or the sideline. I'm going to now review first level techniques. I'm going to start off with head up techniques. All head up techniques are even numbers. So we have 0, 2, 4, and 8. Again, the tight end is the rule breaker in my system. Head up techniques on the back side are exactly the same. And we have 2, 4, and 8. Let's move into outside shades, starting with the center. Outside shades, where a player is playing in the gap, as we say, in the gap. Outside shades are all odd numbers, so we have 1, 3, 5, and 9. Backside is exactly the same. Outside shades, players playing in the gap, responsible for that gap pre-snap. And again, we have a 1, odd numbers, 3, 5, and 9. Now, let's quickly review inside techniques. Inside techniques. And this diagram may look familiar to you if you have watched my defensive gaps and techniques video. That is a 2I. I don't like the way that looks. Let me redo the I. It's the head up technique with an I next to it for means inside. So a 2 inside. This would be a 4 inside. And then the rule breaker is the tight end. That is a 7. On the back side, we have the same techniques. Inside techniques. And again, this is review if you have watched the defensive gaps and technique video. 2I, 4I, and 7. Now, if you've watched that video, you will understand in more depth the gaps, the numbering system. And so if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. There is a different color code. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I like to color code things. I feel like, at least for me, I learn better that way. I am color coding this specifically first level in all X's and O's green, and I'll explain to you while I'm doing that here in a minute. When we are talking about the linebacker technique numbering system, let's start talking about rules. The first number in the numbering system equals first level techniques. First level techniques. And so you can see I am color coding first level techniques with all first level techniques that we have on the diagram here. Let's move into the second rule. and second criteria. This, because we are talking about linebackers or second level players, we are now talking about vertical depth. And so depending on where your linebacker is in his technique, the second number is going to refer to vertical depth. That's where they are going to align. In other words, number of yards off of the line of scrimmage, the LOS. Number of yards off of the line of scrimmage, vertical depth. So again, going back to our rule, or our rules, the second number equals vertical depth. Second number equals vertical depth. So again, first number equals first level techniques, second number equals vertical depth. Again, we are talking about linebacker technique numbering system. So let's put in an example. I'm going to put my linebackers in X's and O's red, and let's say we have some type of over front where the Sam backers walked up on the line of scrimmage, like so. And then let's say our Mike moved over, and I oftentimes tell my linebackers to put their heels on the vertical depth line that I want them to stand at. I'll talk about that here more in a minute. Okay, and we'll put our will there. Now, as on all techniques, we want the inside shoulder pad of the defensive player to match the outside shoulder pad of, actually I'm going to change colors on that just for identification purposes, but I want the inside shoulder pad of the defensive player to align with the outside shoulder pad of the offensive player. And so when we're talking about a player who is second level, right now Will and Mike are second level players because they are off the line of scrimmage. Sam is first level. So this rule will not apply to Sam. But let's go back to our rules. First level is first number. And so Will is in a 3. Mike is also in a 3. Second number, vertical depth. Will has his heels at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. Will is in a 35. Mike is sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His vertical depth is 5. Mike's technique is 35. Let's do another example. Let's say that our linebackers are in a basic 4-3 over front, which would put Mike here, his heels on that line. Let's say our Sam is somewhere there, and let's say our Will is somewhere there. Again, inside shoulder pad of the defensive player aligned with the outside shoulder pad of the offensive player. And so our technique lines would look something like this. First number is first level technique. Will is in a 5. Mike is in a 1. Sam is in a 5. Second number is vertical depth. Will's heels are at 1, 2, 3. Will is in a 53. Mike is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His heels are at 5. Mike's technique is a 15. Sam's heels are at 1, 2, 3. Sam is also in a 53. This is my basic linebacker techniques for a 4-3 over. Again, if you haven't watched the defensive techniques and defensive gaps video, go back and do so. That will give you more of an explanation on first level techniques. But as I was doing other videos, I oftentimes was referring to linebacker techniques, and I realized I didn't do a video about it. So here's the linebacker technique numbering system video. I hope this expands your knowledge of the game of football, makes it more enjoyable whether you are a player, coach, or fan. If you would like to see a video or a video topic in the future, please comment or email me at xzandos.com. And please like the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel if you're interested, and more videos to come. Thank you.